Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome to the Daily English Show. This is the first time I've stayed in an English-speaking country, apart from New Zealand, for longer than 5 days. Before this, my total experience in English-speaking countries other than New Zealand was this: Sydney, Australia for 2 days, England, London and Poole for 5 days, and then Melbourne, Australia for 5 days. So it's interesting listening to Canadians and comparing their pronunciation and vocabulary with mine. The other day I was telling Matt a story about how the New Zealand government tried to introduce a fart tax. And he didn't understand what I was talking about. He was like, "What?" And I was like, "Fart, F-A-R-T." And he was like, "Ah, fart. Fart what?" And I said, "Tax, T-A-X." And he was like, "Ah, tax." So that was funny. And later on I was reading the New Zealand English entry in Wikipedia, which I think is interesting. It's a bit problematic in some places though. One interesting part is the way New Zealanders pronounce the L sound in words like this. Of course different people speak differently, but it often sounds like a W, milk. It says in Wikipedia this is especially the case when the final letter is L, but other words like build are also affected. So that's interesting. I pronounce words like that too, but I'd never really thought about it before. Of course I'm not suggesting that you actually try and talk like that. You can if you want, but it's more like an interesting thing to listen out for when you're listening to New Zealanders speak English. Here's some examples. I had some almond milk for breakfast. My friend wants to build a house. Kia ora, in Stick News today, doctors in China have removed a bullet from a woman's head 64 years after she was shot.
In 1943, a 13-year-old Chinese girl was shot in the head by the Japanese army when she was delivering food to her father. Her father was part of a group fighting the Japanese army. CNN reported the 13-year-old girl survived under her mother's care, and the bullet apparently went undetected. The woman is now 77 and she suffered from periodic headaches and fits. Her family was worried that she might have a tumour, so they arranged for a scan. That was when the bullet was discovered. She had an operation to remove the bullet, and the head of surgery at the hospital said the operation went smoothly and actually was not that hard.
And that was Stick News for Wednesday the 30th of May. Kia ora. When did you go to England? Why did you only go for 5 days? Did you go by yourself? You went to London by train. How was London? When I was about 16. It was during my trip to France. I was in France for 2 months, so during that time I went to England for a couple of days. Yeah, well, I was staying in France with a host family, and my host father took me to Paris, and then I got on a train and went to London. Yeah, actually I think that train had only just started, and I was the first person in my town to buy a ticket for it, so the people in the ticket office were quite excited. It was great. I stayed with some relatives and yeah, I had a really good time.
A flat green part of a plant growing from a stem or branch or from the root. Leaf. A plant with large green leaves that are eaten raw, especially in salad. Lettuce. A long vegetable with dark green skin and light green flesh that is usually eaten raw. Cucumber. The coloured part of a plant from which the seed or fruit develops. Flour. A fine white or brown powder made from grain, especially wheat, and used in cooking for making bread, cakes, etc. Flour.
And that was the Daily English Show. See you tomorrow.